Hello, welcome to my presentation on Forms on Cache Data, FOCD. What is FOCD? HTML5 forms powered by a web browser cache, which is known as HTML5's indexed DB. We provide a field naming structure that interacts with pre-written JavaScript and pre-configured database. The administrator sets field names in the HTML, creates the field pick list data in Excel, which is imported into IndexedDB to quickly build a custom form for data capture and other business processes, complete with data input validation. If there's business logic required between fields and forms, where you, for example, click on a field and hide another field based on your business logic, that would require custom JavaScript development. But other than that, you get a fully operational form that will store data into the database cache inside the browser that can be exported out onto your desktop afterwards. So we're going to run through a quick demo of how this works. We're going to take you to the production website and take a look at a FOCD form, and then we're going to show you a dev site where you can upload your FOCD form that you build on your own desktop. So first, to see a FOCD form. Here is a form with an editor, with inline editing, and it has some standard metadata with a pick list. The pick list data is stored in the Excel file. We're going to get to how you import that into here. And that's basically various pieces of information and fields that we've configured. So we're going to show you how to configure these fields so you can create a custom form. The field investment objective has 3 values in it: grow the business, run the business, transform the business. But I don't want transform the business any longer. I want to change that to make more profit. So I go to my Excel file, which I have open here, and my investment objective, run the business, grow the business, transform. So I'm going to go make more profit. Now I'm going to want this value in my pick list. So to do that, I save the Excel file and close it. And then I grab the Excel file with my mouse, like so. Here's my Excel file, and I drag it onto the canvas, and it says generating a backup first. Okay, thank you. It's backing up all those files. I'm going to make a full backup and store it in my documents directory. And it says here to drop an investment or a backup file. And that's what I did. I dropped the Excel file on there, and the dropping has already imported the data. So now if I go to click back home to launch the page, and I can go back and I can see make more profit is in the list. So that's how you maintain your pick list values. Now I'm going to show you how to add additional fields or remove fields to begin to create your own custom form. Here we are in the text editor, and I've got form.html open, and I can find out all the fields that are available to me by clicking on the available fields. And these are the fields that are pre-configured in the database and that you can choose from to build your own application or form. So I'm going to add a field called TB MD name to my form, and I'm going to make it read and write data and have it available in the application. I'm going to put it right up here above brief description. Alright, to do this requires a little bit of text manipulation in this tool right here. So I'm going to close this now that I've picked the field name that I want to work with, and I want to add it right above brief description, where there is the brief description field there. So if I click on the README field, the README file, it's going to tell me how to configure FOCD forms. And it tells me that these are the various field types. So what I want to do in this example is to add a input field, like a data capture field with no pick list for now. So here's the sample HTML that you need, and this is already wired up to JavaScript, so it will populate data to the database by simply placing that on your form. So I'm going to place it right here and paste that in, and I got to change its name to TB MD name, and I can change the default value here to, I don't know, portfolio title. Portfolio titles will show up on the form. Now if I want to preview the form, I click on, make sure I'm highlighted on the form, and I can click go live. And that'll test the form out for me, and you can see that it's placed portfolio title in the form. Now we might want to move it around so we can play with the form further. Back to the README file, it tells us down here how to configure the fields. The following are the rules for configuring the fields. So, for example, the column S, X, where X is equal to 4, 6, 8, or 12, it uses the CSS grid and it will make the field wider or narrower. So you can change these values. So I'm going to change it to a 6 or an 8. So back to my form, if I place to an 8, it's going to be wider. And I can click and try looking at that. And now that moved the portfolio title field up because I changed its width with the column value. The column value S8. Now you can learn about this, like this is straight up HTML and CSS tags. So there's nothing magical about that. Well, the magic is that these field names match pre-configured field names and will just work with the database. We have in the README, we have many things we can do. We could make a field an editor field by adding this tag. We can change the ID names, and we can put in this class and it makes it an updatable field, and so on. So these rules can be used. Now if we want to learn more about the HTML reference and CSS grid, which is what we use to space the columns out, call X is a CSS tag, pre-built tag for us. And it conforms to the spec here, so you can go and learn about CSS Grid. And we can also learn about text inputs and Materialize. And once if you do have HTML and CSS experience already, you'll find this very simple to pick up on. If not, it's going to take you some time to learn how to implement all these different fields. But it's quite simple. You just copy and paste the text in to your form here, and you change the names to suit per the rules down here in the README. Alright, so you have to take some time to play around, and you can get a form configured to your liking. Very easily put in portfolio title here, and it's already wired up to the database. Okay, we're going to now configure the field. So I've already changed TB metadata name, but I also have to change the ID up here, which I didn't do earlier. Now we're also going to have to, okay, we can put in a title advising the user what to do. So please enter title of your item, something like that. And it's an input type text, so it's a text box. And it's going to be updatable standard, so it's the standard way of updating it in the database. This maps to the JavaScript that we've got behind the scenes, so you don't need to worry about that. Just as long as it's there, it'll be an updatable field. And the label here has to match this here, the ID. And it does. So let's retry this form again. So I'm going to click close and then go live again. And there it goes. And we can see portfolio title is now working. And I can go and add in Jim did this and click save and refresh the page, and there it is, it's working. So let's just review the steps again. So configuring, these are the summary steps for configuring, and in the end we're going to do a deployment and deploy the form. Okay, so the finished product resides in index.html. So index.html is the finished product. And this file is very straightforward to get to learn. So this is where the form starts, and it's broken into sections. So if we collapse our sections, we can see with the green tags that we've created easy to navigate sections, so you can see where you might want to place your code. So once you've worked in this page here, which is your form, and you like what you see, you can take that, copy that, and put it into your index.html, and then that's what gets deployed to the cloud. So I'm going to paste that back in to the page, and I want to expand my form sections because everything we do is in sections, collapsible sections. And this is section 1, which is description and notes again. And I'm going to place this new field that we liked right here. Pick the new field that I added, which was tbmd name. I'm going to add that field to the index.html in this location. Click File, Save All, and then go and upload that. Again, pick the file, index.html, open, Submit, upload, test, and there it is, portfolio title. And that's all there is to it. So there's more details actually in the JavaScript piece, where you have to, for certain fields like a editor field, we need to configure a few more things to make it work. Now that's the end-to-end process for your form. This form does not require any installation. It's just a web page. You launch the form by going to a web page. The web page runs in your browser inside the cache. You drag and drop the Excel file onto the canvas. The data is imported into the cache. It's never stored in the cloud. It's always in the browser cache. And then at the end, you simply export into a CSV file, and you can use it in Excel or any other tools that you need, or import it back into your enterprise system.
Like a boomerang.